Welcome to the channel. It is Wednesday, the 30th of November 2022 at the time of recording, and I'm sure you know what's happening in China related to the white paper movement and the protests related to zero COVID, down with Xi Jinping, down with the CCP, etc., etc. How did this all start? Well, let's take you to Xinjiang, the capital of Xinjiang, where on Thursday last week a fire erupted in an apartment building, and unfortunately 10 people lost their lives according to official figures from the Chinese government or local government. The fire could not be put out because basically the fire engines could not reach the actual apartment building because of parked cars, because everyone was locked down, and some of the COVID barriers, and there were some reports that they had to wait for permission to go through this. So the fire burned down. People did try to get out of the situation, but the doors were actually locked, bolted, sealed, because in this city in Xinjiang, 4 million people and 100 days of lockdown. So you can see the whole situation. So people did get very angry, and when they were allowed out on the street or whatever the situation, they went to the local town centre and did protests. This did spark off a chain reaction basically, because this was allowed for a short moment of time on social media like Weibo in China, which is a little bit like Twitter, and on WeChat, which is a little bit like Facebook, and people got upset, and they've also been on lockdown. They're tired of 3 years of COVID. One day you're free to go out, the next day you're trapped at home for another 2 months, etc., etc. A lot of the Western shills in China would say why they can have protests anytime they want. Why is the Western media doing this one? And why, related to the Uyghurs in Xinjiang, there were no protests related to the re-educational camps, etc., in that area? The answer is quite simple. If you ever go to Xinjiang, you're not allowed to use a VPN. I've met a couple of people, or know a couple of people, who have actually been there, Chinese people, and basically they have been told off by the police for using a VPN on their mobile phone and been asked to switch it off. So, related to any situation getting out there, and anything which is related to the Uyghurs, etc., is sort of like immediately dealt with. But these protests were allowed for some unknown reason, and it was allowed for maybe like 6 or 7 minutes on social media before the authorities shut it down, basically, so no messages could get out. But that 6 minutes was enough. So this did spread across China, and you could say tens of thousands of people, not millions, just tens of thousands of people have been in Beijing, Shanghai, Shenzhen, Guangzhou, Wuhan, Chengdu, Chongqing, Xi'an, smaller areas, places in Inner Mongolia, places in Tibet, places around the world, including New York City, London, Canada, etc., etc., have all been supporting the people of China, not the government of China. And while the rest of the world has got over COVID, the injections and whatever has been quite effective, yes, there are still a large amount of people, or not as large as before, but there are people who are suffering from COVID, but it's sort of now just like a sore throat, cough, maybe flu for a couple of days. So it's gone down considerably, which is a reasonable risk. In China, they want zero risk, and they keep on saying, again, the safety of our family, etc., etc., like that. But even Xi Jinping did appear in one of the protests. Now, if you do go to the homepage of my channel, you can see quite a few videos related to it. I did do a live stream earlier today with all the collective put into one, and I will put a link in the description below for that, over what happened the last 4 or 5 days in China. But basically, this guy this student, you could say, says it all in about 10 seconds.
我们要勇敢一点。我打一朵花，我犯罪了吗？我犯法了吗？没有就他们不敢抓我们。站这里有干嘛？法律的。中国人需要勇敢一点。
And some of the reactions to people driving their car in Beijing, honking their horns in agreement with the protesters. As the situation continues, whatever it may be, as long as I can get the information from various sources, at the moment heavily using Twitter, for example, I will keep you updated maybe once or twice a day. How do you know what's happening? Quite simply, there's quite a few ways. If you subscribe to the channel and turn on all on the notifications, you can join my Twitter feed or Twitter account, and there, when I post any video, it's also going to be on Twitter as well. And these are the ways that you can follow the updates. What's happening with the Three Gorges Dam, I am going to sort of repeat what happened yesterday. Once in a while, I do check the live stream, and I was quite excited with the live stream yesterday because I thought, wow, it's back. Then I looked at the date. You can see it all here. But with this, you can actually see, if you wait a while, the actual Three Gorges Dam releasing the flood water. Now, just starting, so when there's no water there, then suddenly the water appears. It's quite magnificent in that way. But please do note, this is from 2021, September 2021, I do believe. As always, a big shout out for the people who do like, subscribe and share. Thank you very much for your kindness. Many thanks to the people who do donate financially. I think the last person was Randy8, one of my regular subscribers. Thank you very much, Andy. And also to another person, I think the name is Lynn, who became a channel member. If you do want to, in any way, shape or form, the links are in the description below. And if you do have time, go to some of my other videos in my channel. I think I have thousands of them. I've really actually lost count. That's it. Thank you. Be good, be well, be safe. God bless. I will see you very soon for any updates related about China. Bye-bye.